the sum and the product of roots of quadratic equations. So in this topic, we're going to determine the sum of the roots and the product of the roots. And of course, you will also understand the connection between the value of A, B, and C to our sum and product of the roots. So here we have here the formula for the sum of the roots represented by x sub 1 plus x sub 2. So that is equal to negative b over a. And then for the product of the roots, we have here x sub 1 times x sub 2 equals c over a. So these two formulas will be our pattern in solving the sum and product of roots. So let's start with our problem. A. Determine the sum and product of roots of each quadratic equation. Verify your answer by obtaining the roots of the equation. So number 1, let us start. For number 1, given is x squared plus 4x plus 3 equals 0. Remember that your quadratic equation must be in standard form. So we can now identify the value of A, B, and C. For our A, we have here 1. For B, we have 4. And C is 3. So I hope it is easy for you to identify the value of A, B, and C since we're always repeating this process. Next, our formula for sum of the roots is negative b over a. So substituting the values of b here, so let's write first negative fraction bar, and then b is equals to 4, a is 1. Simplifying this one, we're going to have here negative 4 divided by 1, that is negative 4. So this is your sum of the roots. Next, for the product of the roots, we're going to have the formula c over a equals. C here is 3 over a is 1 equals, simplifying 3 over 1, of course, obviously that is 3. Alright, so that's a quick one. So now, we are also asked to verify our answer. So to verify, let's have here our checking if we have obtained the correct sum and product of the roots. So to check, we need to solve for x squared plus 4x plus 3 equals 0. You can use any method of quadratic equations. So, for example, I want to use the factoring. So, first look first for the value of c. Let's have here some parentheses and then copy the variable x. Now, we need to identify the factor. Let's start first with c. Given is 3, so meaning we need to factor 3. So our factor for 3 is 3 times 1. Now, check if the factor has a sum of RB. RB here is 4. So check if 3 plus 1 here is equal to 4. 3 plus 1 is equal to 4. Yes, correct. It is the same as RB. So meaning we can use these two factor, which is 3 and 1. So I'm going to have here plus 3 plus 1. Next, let us now use zero product property. X plus 3 is equal to 0. X plus 1 is equal to 0. Separating the two factors. Applying addition property of equality, we're going to have your x equals negative 3 for the first root. And then the second root is x equals negative 1. Alright, so let me erase my scratch here. Next, we have obtained the roots. So the next thing that you must do, of course, you can write here x sub 1, x sub 2. You can also do that. And then, of course, going back here for the sum of the roots, when you add the two roots, that is equal to the value of negative b over a. So let's test it out. So I have here x sub 1 plus x sub 2 equals, our x sub 1 is negative 3 plus negative 1 is equal to negative 3 plus minus 1 is equal to, of course, that is equal to negative 4. Obviously, when you combine plus and minus, it will result to a negative sign. So we can change this to minus. You can have negative 3 minus 1, that is equal to negative 4. Alright? So next is, for the product of the roots, we have here x sub 1 times x sub 2. So multiplying, x sub 1 is negative 3 times x sub 2 is negative 1 equals negative times negative is positive, meaning negative 3 times negative 1 is equal to positive 3. Now, look at the value of our sum here with our sum here. So they are the same. Also, for the product of the roots, we have here positive 3. And also, here C over A is also equal to positive 3. So there you go. You have now solved for the sum and product of the roots without using a method for quadratic equation, but by just using our formula negative b over a for the sum of the roots and the product of the roots, which is c over a.